Yeah, what have
Maybe
you
that'll
done
get
now?
rid of it. Man, I don't know. It would not shut up, so I just deleted the entire thing out. Teddy, how you doing on this Wednesday night with another edition of Road Trip After Hours?
Are you sure this is us or A&I?
No, this is us. I'm sure. Unfortunately, what was running before that was probably some A&I that was trying to take over the show. I was like, no, 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 no.
Well, I'm good. I hope everybody that's tuned in are doing great too. Getting ready for a big night of wrestling, SICW FanFest, this Friday and Saturday night over there in Fairbanks. What is that, Virginia?
No.
No, I know it's right out of St. Louis, but I was trying to figure out, is it Fairbanks, Illinois? Is that what it is?
Fairview Heights, Illinois.
Fairview Heights. Okay, all right. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I said something about Virginia, but I know it's right out of St. Louis, so Fairview Heights. Is
Fairfax,
Herb
Virginia.
Simmons is gonna kill me.
Yes, he is. Oh, that's hilarious. And Herb, by the way, will be our special guest tonight. We're going to talk about FanFest 4. And if anybody knows the ups and downs and the craziness of putting on a FanFest, Herb is one of those guys. And he'll be with us a little bit later to talk about the event for this weekend. And of course, Teddy and I will be doing drop ins from there as well while we're in the Fairview Heights, Illinois area, just outside of St. Louis. Teddy, I'm not really sure. That's something we need to ask him too, because I'm not sure how close St. Louis is to Fairview Heights.
Well, I think it's well. What I've heard is between 25 to 30 miles.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you a few things before we get to some of that, though. I do want to mention I saw that Ted Turner passed away today.
Yeah, yeah.
Teddy, I know you worked under Ted Turner for many years. Did you ever get to work with Ted?
Well, I'm going to tell you something, and this is a true story. Okay, and this is what I was told by somebody that knew. When I first went to work, then they put me on TV as a referee. Somebody didn't want to do that, but the way it was told to me said Ted Turner wanted that black referee on his TV. Now that's a true story. That's what was told to me when I first broke in, started out in the business. So I got a chance to meet Ted. He was married to Jane at the time, and I had to when I was managing Mark Merrow, Johnny B. Bad. Well, I'm sorry, Dusty, God rest his soul, he set up something that he wanted to bring us up to meet Ted Turner, and that Ted see Johnny B. Bad, see the character.
Yeah.
So I had a chance to meet him right there. And so Jane was really the one that was thrilled with it. She was having a ball with it, man. So that's how I did meet him. I do have a picture somewhere with him. I'm going to look for that so I can kind of put that up.
My father knew Ted because he grew up in Savannah. Originally, he was from Savannah, and he went to school there. My dad knew him from that school at the time because they were around kind of the same age. So he knew who Ted was. And he used to tell me he said Ted was a very crass individual, but he was always honest. He would always he said he was one of those blunt individuals. That means I probably would have really liked the guy, Teddy, because he's just like, he sounds like you and I. He just tells you how it is. He doesn't give a shit. That's just
What's
how
wrong?
it is.
What's wrong with that? That's what more people should do today. Stop hiding and stop. If you're being treated or mistreated or whatever, talk. Let somebody know.
Yeah, yeah.
God damn! I mean, there's just so much selling out you can do.
I mean, think about had Ted Turner not come in and invested into professional wrestling for his Superstation. Do you think that Jim Crockett, the NWA, do you think it would have survived much longer?
Well, no, I don't, because they knew it wasn't going to survive. You think they'd have ever sold it if they'd have thought they'd have made a profit? No, they wouldn't have never sold it. They knew it wasn't going to survive because, like I said, it wasn't their fault. They getting good stuff out there, but it takes money to operate. So you got to be selling tickets, and and then, like I said, it takes money. So I think that was a good thing. Ted did come along, invested in it, got it back to going, kept everybody. Basically they sold it, but everybody kept jobs. They were still working for Ted. So,
and which is funny to me too, because that sounds like a completely different scenario than today. Because in today's world, we see where TKO employees and some of the higher ups are getting these huge bonuses and talking about all this money that they're making while eliminating personnel. People like the New Day, who Teddy went in there. And they had a 3-year. I'm going to ask you this, and I couldn't wait to get you on the show because maybe you know this answer. But in these contracts, if you sign a contract for 3 years, Teddy, do they really have the option to go in a year into that contract and say, "Hey, No, we don't agree to that number we said originally in the 3-year contract. So we're going to make that a lower number, about 50%. Is that okay with you?
Well, they have the legal right to do it because here's the deal. You know what I mean? You got to look at it with reality, like it is. Kofi and Xavier, they've been there what, over 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, 10 years, you got to have a little bit of sense too. You got to save your money. You know what I mean? If you got any kind of sense about this business, you know this is not promised to no one. You can have a job tonight and they'll fire you the next day. So you got to keep all that in your mind too. So, like I said, they've been there a long time. You know what I mean? And so sometimes you just run out of ideas. I mean, really, what do you do with them now? For the length of the time that they've been there. You'd have to leave them off a little bit, try to repackage them and maybe bring them back. But now, is that worth it to the company to wait on them and to bring them back? So
Well, let me
it
ask you
just,
though.
and I want to say this too. It's just like with the contracts, whatever they sign you to, don't believe me, they got something there that if you something ain't right, they can get out of it. Or they put a clause in that thing that releases them from anything that you try to do. Because, like I said, if you ain't selling tickets, you ain't making the company no money. Like Vince said one time, how can you go to the bank and take money out when you ain't putting none in there?
But if you got somebody, I mean, and I'm thinking as a talent, if I've signed a 3-year contract and and my contract at the time of that signing, I was basing it that this is for 3 years because I may have had another option that could have been a little bit different, and the years and the dollars could have made
Well,
better sense somewhere else. How
here's
do
what
you
I'm saying.
change that contract?
Well, because they've got it in there when they did it. It's in that they got
That's
something in that
wrong.
contract. They're never going to be buying to none because that happened back in the day when they didn't know any better and they got buying to these contracts where when if they didn't do right, they had to pay a guy all this money. If he didn't even serve out his year or whatever, they had to still give him all his money. So they're not going to let that happen to him. And I tell you what happened to was the Iron Sheik. One time they fired him, forgot they fired him, never did call the office and let anybody know. So he got a check for 3 grand every week for a whole year.
Oh my God! Imagine,
So that
imagine the money. God.
So that's what I'm saying. That's when they start finding out, little loops and say, hey, we got to do something about this. We ain't gonna get trapped like this no more.
No.
So what I'm saying to the New Day, if they offer them a pay cut, you know what I mean? Take the pay cut, go home, let them repackage you, whatever, figure out what they want to do, but you're still getting a check every week. Some money is better than no money. I'd rather be on one than zero. It's just that simple.
But and I'll end it right here. But if I'm thinking about that contract and they let me out of it, I don't want to take less because I might be able to get more in AEW. Tony Khan's out
Well,
there. He may pay you the money you're looking for, and you don't have that option because WWE said, no, 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 no. You can't go over there until this time, and we're going to change the amount of your contract just because we can.
Well, this
Screw
is
you.
this is where you negotiate. Then, if you want to take a pay cut, then okay, I'll take that pay cut. But then I'd like to have this. If I get the opportunity to go somewhere else, can I get out of this contract and go that somewhere else? You got to negotiate too.
No, that's true too. Medicine Man Mick, good to see you in here, my friend. Saying hope everyone is doing good tonight, and thank you for popping into the room. And by the way, you can be a part of the show simply by leaving your comments in the comment section. We'll throw it up on the screen and talk about it. It doesn't cost you anything. There are no super stickers or anything else. This is absolutely free for you to use. Now, I will say this: you can do us a big favor if you will leave the questions in the comment section. Don't just say hey, but leave us a question as well that Teddy can answer. But also go down below and hit that subscription button and the notification bell, all the other stuff that's down there. Click and hit on that. Leave comments because it all helps the algorithm for Teddy and I to get higher numbers on this show and to get it out to more people. As a matter of fact, you can share it if you don't mind. Also, let's see, we have Ellen, I think Ellen's in the room saying happy hump day, Teddy and Mac. Buddy says hi. And we got Horse Camp paid in full from the t-shirt sales. That's
All
great
right. Well,
news.
congratulations to you guys, and thank everybody that helped Buddy and them out. Thank you guys for buying those T-shirts, man. They y'all really did a good cause.
Zach Minger saying that today is National Nurses Day, Teddy and Mac. What happened to the candy stripers? They don't have those anymore, do they?
No, they went to being strippers.
Yeah, well, oh, there's so many jokes I could go with right there, and I'm trying not to. All right, let's see.
You said candy stripers.
Yeah, man, I used to love the candy stripers. Like I'd get sick in a hospital just so I could go see a candy striper.
I know you did.
Let's see. Who sings this song? I'm not sure what song. You may be talking about the intro song, and that's one I had put together by a private individual. So if that's what you're talking about. Dave Crone, Teddy loves this. What's up, gentlemen? FanFest 4 around the corner. And Dave, you're absolutely right. It is coming up around the corner. As a matter of fact, in the room with us right now, I'm going to bring him in here. This is Mr. Herb Simmons, and he is the promoter of SICW FanFest 4 in the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Herb, great to see you in here.
Hey, great. Thanks for having me on. And the weather is really beautiful here in Fairbanks, Virginia. I had to do that, Teddy.
I said, Herb's going to kill me.
Yeah, don't feel bad. I get it mixed up also. And I live here.
Herb, we've got the show coming up this weekend. I know you've got to be going crazy, but tell everybody about what the show's going to entail starting on Friday and lasting through Saturday.
Yeah, we're just a couple of days away here, and it's been a journey, and I can't thank you guys enough for being a part of it. Teddy putting some of these matches together as the general manager has really got some of the boys in the locker room's head spinning, I can tell you. So I might have to talk about him with a long-term deal here, So, yeah, Friday night, the doors will open about 5. Mick Foley will be there doing his one-man show. Vendors set up. The boys that are coming in town have their tables set up. Already heard from some of them, but it's going to be great. Looking forward to have Mick in here, and then Saturday the doors open at 10 a.m. Everybody will be up in there ready to go. We want the fans come and have a great time. The city of Fairview Heights, the mayor cut a nice promo. We had a TV coverage on that this week, and they jumped on board as one of our sponsors, their Chamber of Commerce. And
great.
We was out yesterday, and the Big Texan, who will be in action Saturday night, went out and put out about 300, 400 flyers throughout the area. So the word is out there. We had commercials on NXT last night here out of the St. Louis market.
Very cool.
We've seen a spike in calls today after that. So there's no stones being left unturned, I can tell you. Everybody is sharing it and doing it. So the Fan Fest will run until about 4:30-ish. And then we'll set up for the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, where we'll be inducting Andre the Giant, Johnny Rods, and Spike Huber. We got somebody there who will be handling Chris Owens, going to help with the induction of Andre, has a large collection of Andre's memorabilia. Carmine DeSpirito, a good friend, great guy, going to be there. Him and Johnny Rods are personal friends. He's going to help with that. And Spike Huber, longtime friend of SICW, I'll be helping do his. And we're really looking forward to getting them gentlemen into the class of 2026, because they've all done such great. And then after the Hall of Fame, during that, we're paying tribute to Hulk Hogan, the late Hulk. Jimmy Hart has joined on. He'll be with us. He'll be helping take part of that. Just a little tribute for him. And then Rich Engling, who was the vice chairman of the Cauliflower Alley Club, we all know passed away a few weeks back. We're going to pay tribute to Rich, and his wife reached out to me and couldn't make it, but she asked that I send a video of, she really wanted to, but what she's going through, I understand wholeheartedly. But we'll make sure she gets a copy of the video. And and then we've got the Sam Muchnick award going out, and that goes to the local sports director from KSDK Channel 5 TVs, the sports director, Frank Cusimano. I did an interview with him this week, and I'm taking Jimmy Hart out to him on Friday morning when his plane lands at 7:30 to get that last minute TV plugs in and the radio plugs. And so nobody can say we at least didn't try to get the word out there,
And there are a ton of people. I do want to show this so everybody who's watching right now can see who's going to be there. And of course, it's subject to change, and there may be names that are not on this list because it changes drastically, Herb. So hopefully, this is the most current one, I believe. But we've got a lot of names, including, like you mentioned, Mick Foley. The Rock and Roll Express will be there with Robert Gibson as well, and Kerry Morton. Ricky Morton's son will be there, who I work with in JCW. Buff Bagwell, Johnny Rods, as you mentioned, Congo Kong, Greg Valentine, Teddy Long, of course, Baron Von Raschke. There's so many other names. Do you find it that you towards this time of the where you're getting into this close to the show, that your phones pick up with more talent going, hey, you got another table available somewhere?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, the little hair I got left. I mean, it's been great. But my son Jason tells me, Dad, you got to learn how to start saying no. But he'll learn that the reputations that you build is how you treat people and how you want to be treated. And
Exactly.
And that's what I think. Yeah, he's learning that real quickly. And and I've got a great family, a support. And the locker room is just the tops. I mean, guys are taking off of their day jobs to come in on Friday to help set up early, and late Thursday night we'll be putting the ring and everything up. And so it's a team effort. Nobody can do it all on their. I sure can't do it on my own.
Right. Now, what time is the signing time for Friday night?
We'll be there 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Whatever time we're going to be there. The doors open for mix show at 5 o'clock, but I like to get the guys that are in town. I've got a lot of people flying in, starting at, like I said, Jimmy's the first one, 7:30 Friday morning, and then about every hour and a half, we got more people coming in, and I've got volunteers picking them up at the airport and driving them to, and then we got to get them all back out of town on Sunday because we don't want nobody to be late.
Now, how far is that drive, Herb, from St. Louis Airport?
It's about 20, 25 minutes.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
It's
I wanted to get it from you because I talked to Nick about it, and Nick seemed like it was we'd have to start in Alaska and go all the way from Alaska.
Well, you're talking to a guy
says the guy Herb, who earlier had you in Virginia.
Yeah, and you talk.
Oh wow! Oh, so you had to bring that back up again. Wow!
And Nick is a great guy. Nick has been.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
At the hips every year. The 4 we've done, and him and I. I mean, you can't do it without somebody like Nick, but
Right.
you don't want to ask Nick about driving because he don't drive.
That's what I said to him. I said, Nick, I'm talking to the wrong guy.
Now you tell him to get on that bicycle, he'll make it over there on that bicycle. He pedals about 100 miles.
And the other thing too, now, Herb, me and you were talking earlier today, and you were talking about ticket sales and everything. I know your ringside is almost sold out. How's that going? If people need to come and is there any ringside left?
The ringside's sold out, the 2 front rows around the ring. We did that as a premium upgrade like we've done each year, and they're sold out. A lot of general admission's been sold. One person called today and ordered 20 of them.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting a good crowd there. We're right here in Fairview Heights, Illinois. The Scott Air Force Base is in O'Fallon, Illinois, Muscuda area, which is 10, 15 minutes away. So we draw from that Scott Air Force Base, which is, I don't know how much you know about Scott Air Force Base, but it's where nothing moves in the military unless it goes through Scott Air Force Base on their command center.
Okay.
So, and one of our referees that's coming back to help out this retired out of Scott Air Force Base and moved to Arizona, but he's coming back to referee for us. And so a lot of his cohorts from the military is coming to support him. And but we got the Bruiser Brody Memorial Battle Royal that'll take place that night. We got 25 guys that's entered into that.
I don't want to cut you off, Herb, but you kind of left off one person in that Hall of Fame when you were talking about it a while ago, and I wanted to bring that up. You mentioned about 3 of the guys, but you didn't talk about the fact that you were also going into that Hall of Fame. And I've said this for months now, probably close to a year since I first heard that there was a possibility. You belong in the Hall of Fame. I can't imagine. I think anybody who has ever worked under you or for you understands that you're a rare, rare individual in this business. For you to go into the Hall of Fame, and I think, Teddy, you agree, is very well deserved.
Well, Herb is like this, and I'm kind of like that too. We're old school. I love that attention. That's fine, but it really doesn't bother me. I enjoy what I do. As long as I can make some people happy and treat somebody right, then that's all I care about.
Well, and man, I tell you, I love those. I love the words, and I appreciate all that. And when this all came about last year, Nick Reddenauer was one of the spearheaders of it, and then of course everybody in the locker room jumped on board. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, Mac. I may have, but we were at a show in Collinsville, Illinois, and my son come out because I stay out of the locker room. I have a booker that does that, and I have generals in the locker room. And if I get called to the locker room, it's usually there's a problem, which it very seldom is. But my son come out and said, "Dad, they need to see you in the locker room." And the first thing I said, "Is there a problem? If there's a problem, why are you calling me? Why aren't you handling it?"
Yeah.
So I go back there and I walk in the door, and all the guys and gals are standing up, and Nick starts his speech about it. Say, "Hey, we decided next year," and this is before we even knew we were having a fan fest.
Yeah.
But they knew I was gonna. I will always, as long as I got breath, will have the Bruiser Brody Memorial, because that's a pledge that I've made to Barbara, his widow. So they knew we had that, and we always tie that in with the Wrestling at the Chase celebration, which is 67 years old this year, and then the Bruiser Brody Battle Royal. So they knew we would have that. So they said, "But we're going to induct you into the St. Louis Hall of Fame." And I explained to them, and I've done this over and over. When Larry and I came up with the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, we made a pact that it was going to be for the people who built that foundation. From Sam Muchnick on down to the Funks, the Briscoes, the Von Erichs, the Kaniskis, the Valentines. There's like 63 people in there now. We don't have a chauffeur in there. We do have a movie star. Terry Funk is in there, and he starred in the movie Roadhouse. Yep. But I even though I'm building on that foundation and have been building for 53 years, but to say that I'm a Sam Muchnick or one of the boys who went out there and bled, sweat, and tears, I'm humbled by that. But that's why I'm like Teddy. Just let me help make people happy.
Right, man.
And it's right. Truly an honor, and I appreciate it. But it's for the guys who's really laid that foundation. Like, Teddy's right there. You've been out there. You've been a worker. I've never taken a bump except for one time and got a broken rib.
But we wouldn't have been able to take those bumps, though. This is my point. We couldn't have taken those bumps if people like you didn't give us the opportunities and a place to take those bumps.
Yeah, you got guys still taking bumps.
I do, and I got a great group of them. I'm telling you, and there's, in this area, there's all kinds of promotions, and I wish them all well. I just wish I could get them all to sit down around the table one time and let's do what's best for the business instead of the egos getting in the way. Yep. But that's not going to happen. I've learned that after all these years. So I just kind of said, okay, we're gonna go with it. We're gonna worry about what SICW does. I'm old school. You're not going to change me. We're going to have storylines, and I'm going to reach out to the guys that I know and have worked with. It's like I told them last year at Cauliflower Alley when they honored me with the Promoter of the Year award. I told them then I don't know how much gas I got left in the tank, but I introduced my son out there, and I asked all the guys in the audience. And, I said, hey, the only thing I can ask of you is if he decides to take over, that you give him the same respect that you gave me. And the only thing I ask also, if he messes up, kick him in the rear, like you did.
And I wouldn't have mentioned, I've had this on the screen for a while. Your son did pop in the room saying, "Good evening, Dad." And I spoke about Jason and your family. I was in another podcast. I was actually a guest on another podcast this week, and I had mentioned your family. You've got an incredible family. Not only does FanFest work because Herb Simmons is there, but your family is every bit a part of this event year after year.
They've always been a team.
Yes, yeah. Yes. And I got to tell you, to see that, it's not many times you see a family that tight knit and that do that much together. So hats off to you, Herb, for that.
Well, and let me just finish real quick. When they called me into the locker room that night, I said, no, it's not happening. Case closed. I'm the boss. That I'd very seldom put my foot down, but no, it's not happening. I didn't know my wife was in the locker room. My wife never comes in the locker room. Never. In 50 some years, never been there. And the guys, she was sitting behind the guys, and all I hear is his voice, "Shut up, Herb." And then the guys kind of spread open, and there she gets up out of the chair, and she said, "This is it. It's a done deal. You're not arguing about it. It's going to happen." I said so. And so I got to say the last two words, and that was "yes, dear." So, but so, I am truly humbled with all the guys. And Nick and I just had this conversation the other day when we were together, and he said, "Nope, we're doing it." I said, "Nick, don't poke the bear here, is words of Mac Davis,
Speaking of which, I do want to bring that up too. There is something that we've been dealing with on the show here, Herb, and that has been with your own Big Nasty. I want to, for those of you who have not seen or know of Big Nasty, let me just show you a recent promo that he did, and we'll come back on the other side of this here.
Remind everybody that of all of the pro wrestlers walking the earth and that are alive, there is only one man that got JBL to come out of retirement. There's only one man that has JBL set to go one-on-one, and it's me. You're looking at him. FanFest, May 9th.
I didn't know you had elves working here.
I'm slapping the lips off of JBL. I'm whipping his ass. I'm pinning him. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to stand over his body. And I'm going to take his legacy. Everything that he has built is now mine.
Title. Does Santa know that you left the workshop?
The world's gonna know who I am. I'm the creator of chaos. I'm the moment maker. I'm the risk taker. I'm mentally sick. I'm physically thick. My name is Big Nasty, and everywhere I go.
Did you have to borrow a reindeer to get down here?
I'm the star of the show. And on May 9th at the Radisson Hotel in Fairview Heights, Illinois, we're going to find out in real time during my talk show segment, Nasty Talk Live, from Teddy Long, the GM himself, what the match type is. JBL, I hope you are prepared. I hope that you've been training, because if not, you better pack a lunch, because it's going to be a long-ass night. Hall of Famer.
He's an angry elf.
So the question is, Herb, tell us a little bit about Big Nasty and what can we expect when we meet him in person. The person we saw on the air that was a guest on our show was much nicer than the person I just saw in that promo.
Well, if I'll say this, if he can back up what he's saying and what he's portraying there, then JBL's got a problem, but I just don't believe that. I believe sometimes his bark is worse than his bite. He is on an ego trip like nobody else that I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of guys, and he's a young man, a graduate of the Cowboy Bob Orton Jr.'s Ace Wrestling Academy. I can't take anything away from him there. He's a cheater. Of course, he only considers it cheating if he gets caught. But he, for whatever reason, he's went up against guys like Buff Bagwell, tried the same thing with them. And I don't know how many times he's going to have to learn his lesson. Now, maybe he's learned something that I'm not aware of here. But he has been a little thorn in the side. And I got to correct him. There's only one man that got JBL to come out of that retirement, and he's right there, your co-host. Teddy Long was in Las Vegas and got JBL today.
Well, I want to say this too, Herb, and I have to disagree with you guys. Now, I've watched Big Nasty. I've watched the promo that he just cut. Outstanding promo. I mean, it don't get no better than that. And then, you say he's been wrestling guys like Buff Bagwell, but Buff Bagwell is no JBL. And what you got to understand next is Big Nasty wants to make a name for himself. And how better to do it than wrestling a guy like JBL and plus beating him. So there's nobody that's unbeatable. You can get beat on any given night. So if for me listening to that promo and watching his mannerism and body language, brother is dead serious. So if I was JBL, I'd be kind of thinking about who I'm stepping in the ring with, because I tell you, I got a lot of respect for you, Nasty, and whatever I put you in, we just gonna have to find out what happened. But Herb, I believe this guy here may pull it off. I'm just being honest with you.
Well, and I got to tell you, I'm concerned because he has got the determination. I mean, we had the TV come in this week, and he found out that I was doing an interview with the mayor of Fairview Heights, and he came in and butted in on that, and so he's not scared to do anything like that. But I just.
Well, you got to think about this too. You got to think about this. What will this do for his career? What's the opportunity he has here on Saturday night, brother? I'm telling you, this guy's dead serious. And if I was JBL, I wouldn't be kind of half stepping him. I'd be getting real serious.
Well, and that was what I was going to ask you guys. You've seen him, you've had him on your show. Teddy, have you seen anybody, a young man like this, getting his feet wet, have the intestinal fortitude that he is showing here?
No, no, I have not. And like I said, I know what me and him may not agree on different things, but I want to congratulate him on the job that he is doing. He is outstanding, man. The promos are great. They got intensity, and some of his body language, when you look at it, he's for real. He's not really playing around. So you got to take guys like that real serious because they want to make a name for himself. Like right now, he's the champion. He wants to stay champion, and he's a guy that will do anything to keep that title.
Oh yeah, there's no, like I said, I can't take it away from him. I just, I said I've had headaches, and every one I get is usually coming from him. But he's only got a. And
Well,
again, and you said it. If he pulls this off, his popularity, whether you like him or not, goes through the roof.
right.
I honestly, Herb, and this is what Teddy is saying too. The work that he's done just to promote this event has been very impressive, because there are too many times when you have people in the locker room who just show up to do a match. In the reality, if you can give a promoter more, like what Glenn has been doing, where he's feeding you videos, he's feeding you all these different social media pieces you can use to promote the event. That is how a worker should be working. It's not just the match in the ring, it's everything before that as well. Despite how much I may not like Big Nasty, I got my hats off to him. He's done an incredible job as far as being a professional.
Yeah, you got to take this guy serious. I'm telling you now.
Yep. And by
Well,
the
and
way,
that-
we're running out of time. Herbie, anything you want to share? I know if you want tickets, so we're going to run a commercial right at the end of this, give you all the information you need. But Herb, anything in particular we need to know before we see that commercial?
Nope, just everybody come out. You can still get the tickets while they're available at SICW.org. And like I said, let's come out and let's have a great time and meet all the great legends. And again, I can't thank you and Teddy for what you're doing. And Teddy, I'm really looking forward to seeing these other matches that you're putting together.
All right, no problem, man. I'm just waiting to be. I can't wait to be there.
All right. Herb, I'll see you again in just a couple of days. I've been your host for the show, Mac Davis. That, of course, is WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and our special guest, Mr. Herb Simmons, for SICW's FanFest 4.
You wanted more? Well, here it comes. FanFest 4, we're turning it up. Fairview Heights, we're shaking the floor. 2 wild nights, you'll be begging for more. Yeah! Legends and warriors under the lights. Past meets present in the middle of the fight. SICW FanFest 4. Fairview Heights, we're kicking in the door. May 8th, May 9th, feel that roar. SICW FanFest 4. SICW.org. SICW.org. Heroes you cheer, names that you know. Yesterday's kings and the ones set to